If you're thinking about selling your home in 2025, you want to know that the market is shifting, and I've got all the details to help you make the best decision for your sale. Whether you're ready to list right now or you're still on the fence thinking about it, I'm going to share with you what's happening with home prices, buyer behavior, interest rates, and more in 2025. This isn't going to be your average real estate talk. We're going to be diving in deep today. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the buyers. The vibe in 2025 is a little bit different. And interest rates, they may have settled down a bit, but they are not going back to what they were, which means that the buyers have gotten real picky. And they're also slowed down a little bit because they also know that there's just another house coming on tomorrow or 10 coming on tomorrow. They're paying attention to homes that have value. They do not want to go into a home that's going to need a lot of work and a lot of additional cash outlay. They want homes that are already fixed up, move-in ready. So think new roof, water heater, updated electrical, plumbing has been recently done or done fairly recently so that these homes may be more energy efficient and they're going to have lower insurance cost. And of course, they want to make sure that these homes are priced right. So if you're thinking of selling, you want to think like a buyer and what they're looking for and make sure that your home meets that criteria and more. And I'm going to share with you how. So buyers are all about the move-in ready. Now these homes, they are well maintained. They feel like I can literally just move in here tomorrow. They are not going to need to have new paint. They're not going to need to have new flooring. Light fixtures and appliances don't need to be switched out. They don't need to do windows, roofs, electrical, plumbing, AC, or water heater. They may even have things like smart thermostats and Ring doorbells. You want to create a space that feels like that buyer has stepped into their home the minute they walk in the door. And trust me, the buyer's checklist on what they want is getting longer every day. And for the most part, they are getting it because there is a seller out there that really, really needs to sell, and they're making sure that they're checking as many boxes as possible. So one thing I recommend is staging. I know, it sounds like a lot of work, but honestly, it's the easiest and most cost-efficient way to make your home stand out. And seriously, even if your home looks amazing, staging can help a buyer envision living there. Now, staging doesn't have to cost thousands of dollars. It's really the simple touches. Think removing a lot of the clutter, removing large pieces of furniture so the room is open and inviting. All right, we're here to talk about the big one right now. Yes, that is pricing. I cannot stress enough, pricing is everything in 2025. We are seeing a more balanced market. You can't just throw out a number and go, yeah, wing and a prayer, I might get it. You're not going to get it. Buyers are smart. They are doing their research. They're checking out all of the competition, and then they're waiting and checking it out again before they move forward. So pricing your home from the start, it's critical. So if you overprice, what happens? Your home sits on the market longer and buyers start to wonder, I wonder what's wrong with that house. It's pretty, but there's got to be something wrong with it. Even if a home is perfect, being overpriced is the fastest way to scare off any potential buyer. So if you price too high, the longer it sits, the more likely you're going to have to do a price drop later. And that is never a great look. But on the flip side, you don't want to price so low that you leave money on the table. That is why it is critical you also have a knowledgeable professional agent in your corner that knows how to value a home. Now, of course, here's the $1,000,000 question. How do you find the perfect price? And how do you know that it's just right for the market? The key to pricing a home is doing a comparative market analysis. You've often heard it called a CMA. It's like your personal blueprint for pricing. A professional and knowledgeable agent will be able to pull data from the market on homes that are similar to yours and come up with a competitive listing price. But if you want a more in-depth look on your home, I've also got my information so you can set up a free consultation. All right, so now let's talk about the economy. I know, it sounds boring, right? But stick with me because this is important. In 2025, we're seeing a few economic shifts that are going to be important to the sale of your home. First, inflation is still a real concern for many people, and it is affecting home values. Some markets are seeing a huge decline, while other markets are seeing a slight uptick, and many markets are staying just steady. And guess what else? The job market may be looking pretty solid in a lot of places, but people are still cautious with their spending, especially on big ticket items like homes. So what does this mean for you, the seller? How are you going to navigate these challenges and come out on top? The one thing that I've noticed that sellers who are quick to adapt to the market changes are the ones who do the best. If the market's slow, don't panic. There are strategies to stay competitive. Maybe it's offering the buyer closing cost assistance or a home warranty. These little things can make a big difference to a buyer who's feeling very cautious. Now let's talk about marketing your home. Yes, I know you're thinking open houses are dead. They're so 2010. And while they are not my favorite, hear me out. But here's the trick. You need to pair the open house with the power of digital marketing for the greatest exposure. Everything is online today, right? So your home's online presence needs to be killer. This means having great professional photography, video home tours, aerial photography, maybe even drone footage. And you want to make sure that your property is promoted on all social media platforms. If your agent is not using Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all the social media platforms, you are missing out. And speaking of social media, if you're selling your home, you must be on Instagram and or Facebook, preferably both. In these platforms, you can create stories, reels, carousels, and do paid advertising to targeted buyers. So if you're thinking about selling in 2025, the earlier you start preparing, the better. It's not just about calling a random agent up and saying, hey, come list my home. It's about setting your home up for success from day one. Now, I know that we've covered a lot today, but there's still a lot more for us to cover, like negotiating with the buyer. How do you handle lowball offers? And what if your home doesn't sell right away? Don't worry, I've got you covered. In my next video, I'll be sharing top negotiation tactics for sellers in 2025 and how to avoid common pitfalls that can cost you thousands of dollars. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Also, I want to hear from you. What is your biggest question or fear for selling your home in 2025? Drop it in the comments below and I'll make sure that I personally respond. And who knows, your question might inspire a future video. Listen, you've got this. Selling your home does not have to be overwhelming when you have the right tools and the right people in place. Don't forget to download my free seller guide in the link below. It's packed with everything you need to start preparing your home for the market today. But if you're ready to dive in even deeper, click on this video right here. It is all about the biggest mistakes sellers make. And trust me, you don't want to miss that video because you don't want to make any one of those mistakes. See you there.